There is a very fine line between genius and madness, a line that gets especially blurry when Italians with too much money decide to go racing. One car that came from that madness was the 1935 Monaco-Trossi Grand Prix car, a machine so overcomplicated, so wildly optimistic and so physically front-heavy that it didn't really steer. This was not just another brave attempt to win races. No, this was a car that stuck a twin supercharged 16-cylinder 2-stroke radial engine, yes, the sort of thing you'd find on a World War I biplane, right over the front axle, drove the front wheels with it and asked the driver to kindly control the chaos from somewhere behind. It was technically brilliant, colossally expensive and utterly doomed from the moment it turned the wheel, which of course makes it one of the most fascinating machines ever built. So let's talk about it. Now the Monaco-Trossi was the brainchild of Augusto Camillo Pietro Monaco, a talented engineer with a history of building hill climb cars that looked like the mechanical offspring of a tractor and a dragonfly. But his dream was to build a full Grand Prix racer, 750 kilograms of racing fury. So he teamed up with Giulio Aimimi, which was yet another engineer who presumably had a high tolerance for chaos and poor decision making. Their plan was to build a front-wheel drive Grand Prix car powered by an air-cooled 16-cylinder radial engine. Because why the hell not? Now to do this, Monaco initially secured the support of Fiat. They even let him use the facilities at Lingotto, their famous rooftop test track, to build and test this lunatic engine. But once they saw the finished product cough and sputter its way through the test runs, Fiat wisely ran for the hills, leaving Monaco with a prototype engine, a dream, and absolutely no funding. At which point, Count Carlo Felice Trossi, a dashing Alfa Romeo works driver and a man from whom budget constraints was clearly a foreign concept, swooped in with cash, connections, and a workshop located inside his personal castle. Yes, really, you cannot make this stuff up. Together, Monaco and Trossi completed the car in time for the 1935 season, and on paper, it was an engineering marvel, but in reality, as we'll see, it was a complete disaster. So, let's get into the engine, because it's either the best part or the worst part of this insane car. Now, it was a 3.9 litre radial layout, 16 cylinders, air-cooled and arranged in 2 rows of 8 cylinders each. And here's where it gets even madder. Each pair of front and rear cylinders shared a single combustion chamber. That means it had 8 combustion chambers, each being fed by 2 pistons, coming in from opposite directions. And since it was a 2-stroke, there were no valves, just ports for intake and exhaust. This was paired with 2 enormous Zoller M160 superchargers, one feeding each bank, which pumped air-fuel mixture into the combustion chambers at around 10 psi. The connecting rods were a proper radial setup, one massive master rod attached to the crankshaft with 7 articulating rods dangling off it like a metallic jellyfish. It was all packaged into a duralumin crankcase with a 3-piece crankshaft holding the mess together. And when it all worked, it made 250 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, which was a staggering figure for an engine of that displacement and era. And when it didn't, which was often, it turned spark plugs into ash and set fire to the mechanic's patience. You see, the air cooling alone would have been a problem in any Grand Prix car, but shoving the entire engine directly above the front axle, exhausts pointing forward, superchargers behind, was like fitting a wood-burning stove to a Vespa. Cooling was inefficient, plug fouling was frequent, and combustion stability was aspirational. And if that wasn't bad enough, this monstrous engine drove the front wheels, not the rear, like a sensible race car, with a 4-speed engine bolted behind the engine. And to control this clutch, they connected the shaft to the box that passed through the gearbox to reach the clutch, and then looped it all back. But it wasn't all bad. I mean, the suspension was independent all round, double wishbones, coil springs, and adjustable oil dampers, which was advanced stuff for the time. The brakes, they were hydraulic drums, which wasn't too shabby. The chassis was a space frame of steel tubes, and the body was an aerodynamic teardrop designed by Count Ravelli, who was a friend of Trossi. But what happens to a race car when everything is up front? Well, the weight distribution of the Grand Prix race car was a whopping 75% to the front and 25% to the rear. Imagine braking hard, the whole rear end would lift up. Anyways, the entire car came in under the 750 kg limit. Just, but only because the body was made from wafer thin aluminium and the whole structure was essentially held together by optimism and debt. Now, testing took place at Monza, naturally, where both Amimi and Trossi pushed the car to a deeply worrying 240 km per hour, which, to be fair, is a hell of a top speed for the time. But then came the problems. The engine overheated, the plugs failed constantly, and most worryingly, the car didn't turn at all. The understeer was so profound that entering a corner was less a maneuver and more a prayer. Now, this thing was supposed to debut at the 1935 Italian Grand Prix, but even the thrill-seeking Italians took one look and said no grazie. With overheating, misfiring, and suicidal cornering tendencies, the car was declared unfit for racing. So it never turned a wheel in competition. Instead, it quietly vanished into the annals of eccentric racing lore, resurfacing occasionally in photographs and among the tortured memories of those who had to work on it. But here's the thing, as mental as it was, the Monaco-Trossi was brilliant in its own deranged way. It wasn't just another Maserati with a tweaked straight 8 engine and a cigar body. It was an attempt to rewrite the rulebook, front-wheel drive, radial 2-stroke engine, advanced suspension, and more aluminium than a B-17 bomber. It failed catastrophically, yes, but it failed with flair. And it is tempting to mock cars like this, and believe me, there's plenty to mock. But motorsport needs mad ideas. It needs engineers who thinks putting a radial aircraft engine on the front axle is a good use of time and resources, because without these failures we don't get progress, and we certainly don't get stories worth retelling nearly a century later. But at the end of this video, please let me know what you guys thought of the video, what do you guys think of this insane car. And again, if I sound funny, I am sick, so sorry that you had to listen to me. Hopefully the video made up for me sounding the way I am sounding currently. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the video, what do you guys think of the car, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please have a like and subscribe to the channel. Now if you guys thought this video was good, you'll most probably enjoy most of my other videos, so just go through my channel, see if there's someone else you like. I'll check you guys in the next one. Cheers,